Mercury is a truly great nickname, and watching him.
Microphone.
On that team, I wanted him to not be able to drink that champagne in 1985, but he got to drink it anyway when the Bears lost to his Dolphins.
Yeah, well, the Patriots went all the way to the Super
That's right, they
Bowl
went
game.
further.
They had a real shot. Let's go to the big finish. Caleb Williams and your Bears lost to the Colts. Your analysis.
He got better. The offense got better. Not good enough in a ways to go. Expectations were completely out of whack. People, hey, wake up. This is hard. It's a rookie.
All right. Hey, we're live. I was here. Got my tea ready.
Devontae Smith was knocked out. The Eagles went over the Saints with a concussion. Was that a dirty play, Tony?
It's really close. It's such a hard hit, and it's have to have. It is. All four favorites won their openers in the WNBA playoffs. Your thoughts?
Tony, let's see. The Lynx, the Aces, the Sun, and the Liberty, they won. They're going to advance. That's going to be one hell of a semifinal round. Monday night doubleheader, Jags at Bills, Commanders at Bengals. Who you got?
Here's who I wish we got. I wish we got Bills and Bengals. I think they'll both win, but I'd like to see them play. Last one, your White Sox tied the 62 match for most losses. How many will they end up with?
Well, the only way they don't break the record is to win the final 6 games of the season, and they ain't going to do that. I'll say they'll win 6. They're going to break it. They're going to Bob Beamon the record all-time continuing in baseball.
You've been saying this for months. You've been right on this one. We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm a South Sider, but that makes me happy to know the Cup guy. I might go by the same time tomorrow. Knucklehead, you can get the podcast on the Apple Podcast. And now,
ESPN2. How do you like this?
This is SportsCenter.
And this is Joe Burrow bringing the energy. The 0-2 Bengals facing a virtual must-win tonight on Monday Night Football as they host Jaden Daniels and the Commanders at 8:15 Eastern on ABC. Welcome to the SportsCenter. Alina Smith and Christina Alexander with you. 2 packed hours ahead of a double dose of Monday Night Football.
Just 39 receiving yards so far this season, but he's sounding not like a wide receiver, not a typical wide receiver, in a very un-diva-like way. He has been preaching.
Okay.
He told me
Anyways.
the start of this season has been frustrating, but then he's trying to keep
I'm live. Anybody's here?
knowing that this will be just the 3rd NFL game for his young quarterback, and it's going to take time.
Diva receiver, right? Diva receiver in the same sense. Never heard that before. Jaden Daniels will be the 3rd rookie QB in Washington history to get a start on Monday Night Football, joining Ed Robert and RG3. Lisa, thanks so much, and stay dry out there also.
Try.
For more on this matchup, let's bring in our NFL analyst, our coach, Herbert Edwards. All right, coach, talking about Jaden Daniels, where do you want to see him involved the most in this offense?
Stop being so cautious with the ball. Look, young rookie quarterbacks, they don't know what they don't turn the ball over. Coach is preaching that. But I think he has to have enough confidence in himself, and I know Jaden pretty well, that he needs to throw the ball down the field. He's a great long ball thrower. Now, hopefully the weather clears up and he can actually display that tonight. But I think he's at a place now that he poses a problem with defense. He levels the playing field. It's 11 on 11 because of his ability, we just mentioned it, to run. That scares the defense. He's going to get a lot of single safety high, not double safety. It's single safety high because you have to count for him if he takes off and runs. That's going to give him the ability to get some one-on-one matchups outside.
Yeah, I mean, he's been confident, right? Because Daniels and the Commanders had 425 total yards in the last week's win over the Giants. As for Burrow and the Bengals, they really need the dub. T. Higgins is back. What does that mean for Cincy's offense?
Well, if you're Cincinnati, you need to get going. They got off the slow starts. This Washington defense, especially the back end, has given up a lot of big plays. So he's going to have this chance to throw the football, and he needs to throw it. This gets their team excited and they can make big plays in the passing game. T. Higgins is back. Jamar Chase obviously is there as well. So they have some weapons, some athletic players to play on the perimeter. Joe Burrow has to throw the ball and get him the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Burrow and the Bengals going for their 10th straight win against the NFC. Stay right here.
No, I'm not going anywhere. We got Monday Night Football.
Good. Amina, hanging out with us. The Bills and Jaguars have turned in much different directions since their last appearances on Monday Night Football. The Jags are making their first appearance in an overtime loss to the Bengals in Week 13 of last season. Trevor Lawrence left that game in the fourth quarter with an ankle injury and did not return. Jacksonville has gone 1-7 since then, with 5 of those losses coming by one score, both the worst in the NFL. Last time the Bills were on Monday Night Football was Week 10 of last season, when they were upset by the Broncos in Buffalo to fall to 5-5. They fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey the very next day. Joe Brady replaced Dorsey as OC, and the Bills, they won 8 of 9 since then. The biggest benefactor of the change at offensive coordinator has been running back James Cook. Since Brady became the Bills' OC, Cook's workload has soared. He's averaging nearly twice as many touches and over 103 scrimmage yards per game, third most in the NFL during that span. On the scene in Buffalo is our reporter, Laura Rutledge. And the Bills' offense looking a bit different these days. What's Josh Allen saying about the transformation of that offense to a more run-heavy attack that features their running back, James Cook?
Yeah, he loves it. And basically, he said, I'll do whatever it takes to win, and that's what's happening right now. That's the most important stat in the column, right? You want to make sure that you're getting those W's. And one of the things that Josh Allen said about this team is that they are incredibly close. We've also heard that from other players on this squad. They're different. They're special. I spoke with James Cook, who said he's really relished in the trust that he's seeing Josh Allen give him, as well as Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, especially in the red zone and in key situations. He knows he can deliver, but he was waiting for a little bit more of that trust from Josh Allen and Joe Brady. He's feeling like that's come his way, and it's been a key reason why this offense has flourished.
Anybody here?
I want the ball as much as possible. I want to be a workhorse.
Am I live?
Just for the
I thought I was
record,
live.
he likes the phrase,
It's
let
here.
James cook. That's been around. He thinks it's perfect and thinks people are pretty clever with that one.
Yeah, definitely clever with that one. The Bills are also seeking their third straight 30-point game. But on the flip side, the Jaguars have only scored 13 total points in the last 6 quarters. Laura, how much pressure is on Jacksonville to right the ship to avoid an 0-3 start?
Yeah, Doug Peterson said he doesn't like to use the word urgency because sometimes it can put pressure on his players that he thinks is unnecessary. But he said he's using the word urgency this week. That's how important it is to get this win. And they know it's difficult going on the road to this environment. You'll see the stadium absolutely packed. Bills fans have already been out here all day long, but the emphasis has been just putting the ball in play for Trevor Lawrence this week, not trying to make a long completion or win the game on one throw. Trevor Lawrence is uber talented, as we all know, and sometimes that can make him try to do too much or try to be too perfect. They're going to be looking for easy completions early on in this one, just trying to get that offense moving, and especially emphasizing success in the red zone as well as on third down. Doug Peterson pointing out that first and second down certainly affect third down as well. So everything they can do to avoid those third and long situations, second and long, of course, too, that's going to be a major focus. I bet we'll see Christian Kirk a little bit more involved in this game. He hasn't been very much involved so far this season, as well as Gabe Davis, who, of course, as you know, is making his return to Buffalo now on the other team.
Yeah, now Trevor Lawrence and the Jags trying to avoid their third 0-3 start in the last 10 years. Urgency is definitely the word to describe it here. Laura Rutledge with the latest. Thanks so much, Laura. All right, Herm Edwards back with us. What's your take on why Josh Allen and this Bills offense is having that success under Joe Brady?
It's balanced. It becomes a balanced offense. It starts with the running back now, not Stephon Diggs. It actually starts with the runner and Cooks. And so when you think about Josh Allen, he's a tremendous talent. He has great arm strength. He can throw the ball anywhere. He's a good runner. But now he has the option. Do I start off with the run game? Do I throw to the tight ends? I have 2 good receivers. There's no drama anymore. This is his football team. And he gets to call a lot of things from the line of scrimmage. He can check plays. He can do whatever he wants. So I think he feels in charge now. It belongs to him. When you have a great receiver like Stephon Diggs, obviously, you always have the conscience in the back of your mind, I got to get him the ball. He wants the ball. Sometimes he forced the ball to him. Now this is a more balanced offense.
He's playing with less pressure.
But a lot of pressure because he's a quarterback, but he doesn't have to worry about going to the sideline and trying to think, I got to get the ball.
Right. Right. I mean, since Brady took over as offensive coordinator late last season, the Bills have run the ball at the third highest rate in the NFL. Speaking of running the ball, the Ravens ran all over the Cowboys in yesterday's win, rushing 45 times for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, through the first 3 games, the Cowboys' rush defense ranks last in rush yards per
Is anybody out there?
rush.
I got 2 people, it says.
Cowboys owner and GM Jerry Jones was asked about Derrick Henry after the game.
Oh, someone's there. Scott, I don't know what happened. Nobody's here tonight. Scott, Super Bowl winners, early thoughts. I'm, my early thoughts are Kansas City, unfortunately. And in the NFC, I don't have a strong opinion on the NFC yet. I'm a Packers fan, and they're winning without their starting quarterback, which is a good sign. 2 games in a row. They lost the first week of the Eagles. San Francisco's struggling, so I can't count them out. Minnesota looks good, unfortunately, because they're in Green Bay's division. I'm not sold on Seattle. I don't know. What do you think, Scott? I think it's very unclear.
All right, Mike Parsons, as we know, very frank when he has to talk about why Dallas didn't get the win. But my question to you is, what's the biggest reason why Parsons and this Dallas team can't stop the run?
They don't trust each other.
If Mahomes gets hurt. Yeah, he keeps finding ways to win close games. That's the problem.
They call on defense.
That's why he may go back down as the greatest quarterback ever.
Everyone has responsibility of a gap.
We'll see what
Right
happens.
now, guys are trying to make the big play. Rather than just do your
I mean,
job.
San Francisco's 1-2, and they were like
And
the
right now they're
Super Bowl favorite.
This is why on first down, 35% of the time,
But,
people run on the Cowboys on first
they've
down.
had injuries, so.
5.4 yards a carry. But that puts them in a lot of second and medium.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. And I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I don't care. I like Packers, and I'm a Bills fan, and I'm in Philadelphia. I live in Philadelphia, but I didn't grow up here. So they look pretty good. Shaquan Barkley, as long as he's healthy, remains healthy.
Great for the Cowboys right now. They're on a short week with a road game against the Giants on Thursday.
I got to do the Bills game live, but
Coach, thank you.
well, I don't know where everybody is tonight. They're all upset about the loss yesterday. Everybody's upset about the playoff loss and Clark getting poked in the eye and nothing being done about it. Yeah, without a quarterback, you're not going to. That's not changing any in football. In fact, I think the quarterback's more important now than it was 50 years ago. So just because passing is more and more important. And the schemes get more and more complicated, so the quarterback has to be smarter and make quicker decisions. And so they're harder and harder to play, so they're more and more important.
Here you go.
Go for the handful. Popeye's crispy, juicy, tender,
we'll see what happens.
Chicken is the meal your craving deserves. And now you can get 3 pieces of the chicken you crave for just $5. We don't make sense.
Scott, are you also Caitlin Clark an Indiana Fever fan or just a football fan?
They're good for squad goals and squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers and these kinds of cheers. People are good for you. Jim B. Best to enjoy it together.
You think so? Why is that? Why is it harder for sex?
That's right. New and existing customers can trade in any phone in any condition and get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Only on Verizon.
Look who's joining us for my favorite part of the day.
Cheerios are his love language.
Well, yeah, they can help lower cholesterol.
Okay.
I love it. My love language is Portuguese. I don't understand it, but I love how it makes me feel.
I'm the team mascot, and boy, am I running late. But I got lead in my foot and spirit in my fingers. Oh, what a hit. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, the cost to cover that might take your season.
You know, take money on auto insurance and be protected from mayhem, like me.
The fact that this Reese's ad showed up at this exact moment proves that your devices are listening to your stomach. My moderate to severe.
Anybody else out there besides Scott? Since we have 4 people. I don't know what. Small crowd tonight. Yeah. If they lose, the series isn't over with. They only lost. It's only 1 loss. You know, I expected them to have difficulty in their first playoff game, but I didn't expect her to get poked in the eye and the refs to swallow their whistle on that play. And then I expected them to get the favoritism towards the Suns, which they did. But then they, you know, I can't imagine that didn't affect her eyesight, her depth perception and stuff. Like, it just, there's no way. I think Carrington needs to be suspended for the rest of the series, but they're not going to do a thing. They will do nothing. Where do you live, Scott? What are you in a different country?
Hey, that's great. But who are the chefs?
Rookie mistake.
Great googly moogly.
Maybe you just need a Snickers.
Scotland. All right. Well, we're going to do more football videos because, you know, there won't be any Caitlin Clark news. There will be because there's always drama with her, but not because of her. But we'll do more and more football videos, the NFL football videos.
What y'all doing out there? Taking bribes. Proud of y'all. On and on and on and on and on. People are into it. Fire. Yeah, it's such a vibrant thing.
Sports Center, brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands.
Philly went from an upsetting loss to a win to a.
How'd you discover Caitlin Clark? With YouTube or something?
New Orleans for the first time since 2007. And as for Saquon Barkley, after dropping that pass on Monday, became the only player in the league this season to record 115 scrimmage yards in each of his team's first 3 games. But here's someone
No, she won't do a thing.
For NFL analyst Ben Solak. All right, Ben. Last week, your next Ben stats debut here on.
I don't know that much about the new Fever president. There were some couple videos out about the new Fever president. I don't know that much about her. They said that means maybe they're going to change things in Indiana, but I don't have any idea. I don't know anything about her. I started watching videos and I then ran out of time to find out more about her. I don't know. Just they think just because she's got a new president, she's going to fire Dunn and Sides. It's not that easy. That I don't know. The person resigned, right? I'm assuming the general manager answers to the president, but the president was completely quiet on everything. So what was the president wasn't active in doing anything, I guess.
13.9 yards against the Vikings in week 3. That's how far behind the sticks the Texans were. Listen to this. There have been 6 games in the last decade where a quarterback dropped back on 10 third downs, and all of them were at least 7 yards.
Right.
You can't do that against Brian Flores. You can't do that against the Vikings defense that wants to blitz and get after the passes this much. The Texans have an early down problem. They're not doing first down.
It looks intentional to me. It really does. I can't. I mean, it's 100%. Am I sure? No, but I'm pretty close to 100%. I'm as close as I can be.
Highest number in a game for him over the last 6 years. Now, why are those windows so tight? Because the Cowboys don't have great.
I don't understand how someone's laying on the ground in pain with their eye, and then there's no foul calls, no review, no anything. They acted like nothing happened. Like she's on the ground. I need to see who their 3 refs are for that game. I have to see their names and remember them. Because there was 3 refs.
All of Ben's stats, tidbits, and analysis in his column on ESPN.com tomorrow morning. Ben, Thank you.
You think if Caitlin Clark did that to Asia Wilson, there would be no foul call?
The massive upset we saw on Sunday, and which surprise winner has the best chance to sweep up?
Tell me that.
Michigan would be the touchdown to take the lead.
It's just unbelievable.
Touchdown, Wolverines! And the Wolverines have upset USC.
I saw something on the new president, but I didn't finish watching the videos. I just saw something.
You don't believe that he caught it. The Dukes are in control in Chapel Hill.
Embarrassing day. There are no excuses.
College football, you are so unpredictable.
I don't know if Coach Sides did anything. I know she got a technical later in the game for something a lot less serious. Just one call that might not even been the right call for her to be upset about. And that's all I know. I would have been out on the floor if I was the coach. Like, who said that? Something about Gino. My player's down with her head.
42-game regular season win streak dating back to 2020 and have won 16 straight true road games, the longest active streak in the FBS. Through 3 games this season, Georgia has yet to surrender.
I'm flabbergasted that this league is ridiculous. Yeah, there's been 3 officials for a while in basketball.
Including SEC championship game wins last season and in 2021. Here's what the board had to say.
So I don't know what to say, guys.
And that's no one's fault that that's the case, but obviously there's going to be, even if there's one doubter, right, that falls along with the Lank mentality, and that's what we get to do is let any of the naysayers know what we're capable of, and that's no one's fault.
Caitlin Clark said it didn't affect her, but then she, I think, heard someone later said she might be dead.
Plays that are, what would you call off schedule?
So
Plays, and then you got on schedule.
she was the favorite. Why did she leave in 2018 then? And why did she come back 6 years later, I guess?
Super explosive. They got a quarterback that defines explosive, and they got good backs. Our job is to try to prevent those, and a lot of that starts with how well we play around the quarterback.
I don't think the players overly reacting fake hurt any more in the WNBA they do in the NBA. So I don't really see that as an issue.
Everything is set up for Ole Miss to get a win, but that's not how college football works, right?
Well, Smith wasn't producing, but yeah, I don't know how she reacted either when that happened. Smith shouldn't have been starting anyways. It's just ridiculous. She hasn't played well for like a half dozen games. She seems out of it. Timmy should be starting, even though Timmy didn't play great either, but she's still better than Smith. At least she hustles on defense.
Schedule would not, it is what it is. And so I hope that our practice has, because our practices is similar to what it is.
I believe that. I didn't see that part of it.
For the Longhorns' SEC debut against Mississippi State, you are still recovering from an oblique strain suffered from in week 3. Take a listen to what head coach Steve Sarkisian had to say about a potential return for Ewers.
So the NBA players flop a lot, but they don't throw their heads back in arms. That's flopping. I don't understand the difference.
We've got a game plan. Can he execute?
I don't know what to say. It would never flop. To me, I would never embellish. I would never flop. It's against my morals to do that, to try to get a foul call. Either I'm fouled or I'm not. That's me. I don't think Caitlin Clark's a flopper. I know people say that.
I was actually impressed with where he was today.
It always seems natural to me that.
For the first time this season, Louisville looking to pull off an upset, but against Notre Dame, a team that they're no strangers to beating in that.
I don't know if she's ever embellished slightly. She's not getting the calls, but she hasn't gotten the calls all year, so yeah, I wouldn't blame her for that. I've never seen her flop. The woman gets hit like crazy when he drives to the basket. She gets clutch rolled and handled. The refs were awful last night. I'm just tired of terrible officiating. It's so frustrating.
what you do when you're able to run the ball is create some opportunities to go.
How do you call a foul on Boston when she's 5 to 6 feet away?
A lot of similarities to who they were last year. It's a good football team, well coached, and as I said, it'll be a great challenge.
There's a battle brewing in the Big Ten. Number 9 Penn State and number 19 Illinois going head to head. The Fighting Illini will put their perfect 4-0 record to the test on the road against Penn State, a team that has yet to face a conference.
Never seen a flop in the NBA result in a black eye. I'll agree with that one.
Top 20 matchups at the games with the most impact.
I'm sorry. I keep looking at it, and it just keeps looking like she turned her hand. She goes like this, and then her hand goes like this, and it goes directly into her eye. It's hard to believe it wasn't intentional. I don't know what to say.
And Josh Allen looking to lead the Bills to their first 3-0 start since.
And they didn't even have like mention of it in the ESPN article. ESPN, they talked about Alyssa Thomas's triple double. They didn't talk about Caitlin Clark getting poked in the eye. Let me just see here.
They got my new sound system. I saved a few bucks by running it myself. What? Turn it up.
It's never wise to compromise. Choose savings and quality with Farmers.
We are farmers.
There's even no mention of it in the article in ESPN. I just.
People work better. Everything works better. So, let's get to work.
I just saw what was it? Yeah, he's super nice.
There's no mention of it.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more.
What kind of? How can you not mention that? I looked at the control. Someone told me it was like barely mentioned. It wasn't even mentioned at all.
To a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey. Powerful cold and flu relief with a dreamy honey taste. NyQuil Honey. The Honeylicious nighttime.
This league's pretty pathetic.
Aching fever rescue with cold medicine. When you have something to get done today, getting everything you need today is helpful.
Well, I don't know. I know they get. Well, it's only a 40-game season, so they probably. But compared to NBA, but I know they're a stepping stone to get to Division I men's basketball. I think. So I think they're lower level than that in terms of rated. So I think they get paid more to do Division I men's basketball. I don't know about Division women's basketball. See if I can get an answer on that.
Okay.
Let me just see.
Meet the Jennifers. Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. Each planning their future through the Chase mobile app. Gen X is planning a summer in Portugal with some help from JP Morgan Wealth Plan. Let's go, Whiskers. Gen Y is working with a banker to budget for her birthday.
Well,
Turn 30 months. And Gen Z, her credit's golden.
it says $425 a game to $180,000 a year. That's a big range.
One thing for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Okay, now G League referees make between $500 to $800 a game.
They got my new sound system. I saved a few bucks by running it myself. What? Turn it up.
It's never wise to compromise. Choose savings and quality with Farmers.
We are farmers.
I want to know how much.
Legends collide. And that week promises drama and elements of chaos.
I wonder what Division I men's bats. Okay. How much do Division I
She worked her way up.
I had a summer job at McDonald's.
He was born.
men's?
He's for them.
Basketball.
She's for you.
And our middle class is strong, America is strong.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery. For prisoners. For
Let's
prisoners.
make-
Every transgender inmate in the prison system.
Okay, so Division 1,
But it's true.
1,000 to 2,500 per game.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex
So that could be a lot more.
and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. Bob Casey voted 98.
Yeah, well, 3 times they've malfunctioned when the Fever did it, none for the other.
Change.
But it's hard to get an exact answer because it says Division 1 referees make between 100 and 2,500 per game.
See it back with you. Trevor Lawrence has lost 7 straight starts dating back to last season. That's the longest active streak in the NFL. He looks to lead the Jaguars to their first Monday Night Football win since 2011. The haircut looks nice though. There were several big upsets around the league in Week 3. The Giants went into Cleveland and beat the Browns behind a huge day from rookie Malik Neighbors. At 21 years and 56 days old, and counting, Neighbors became the youngest wide receiver in NFL history with multiple receiving touchdowns in a game. The Broncos dominated in Tampa Bay and handing the Bucs their largest home loss since 2020. This was the Broncos' first win during the month of September under Sean Payton.
NBA refs make between 180 and 550,000 annually. That's a big range.
Young to lead the Panthers to a win over the Raiders, snapping a 10-game road losing streak that had been the longest in the league.
They can make as much as 7,000 a game.
14-point deficit to beat the banged-up Niners at home. Their largest comeback win under Sean McVay. It was
Between 3,000 and 6,000.
drive in the fourth quarter or overtime. The most
It's not very. It's very. It's all over the place, but a lot more than the WNBA makes.
Analyst Ben Solak and also our NFL writer Bill Barnwell, and a lot of upsets in the NFL in Week 3. But
Yeah, I saw that. It's like she hesitated challenging
I was
it.
really impressed with the Carolina Panthers. I mean, this time a week ago, we were all writing them off, and Andy Dalton looked like a superstar in the same offense. This team could not throw downfield the first 2 weeks of the year. Bryce Young had a QBR of 0 on throws, 11 or more yards downfield. And Dalton a 99 QBR on those same throws on Sunday.
They're definitely protecting the women in the league who aren't white, straight superstars like Caitlin Clark. That's all I can tell you. I have no idea why they feel obligated to do that. They're there to ref a game, not to worry about the feelings of the other players and the players in the league. They're just refs. It's almost like they have a personal relationship with the players before Clark got in the league, and they're like friends with them. And they go, "Okay, don't worry, we got you. We're not going to give Caitlin any calls."
10-point fourth quarter come combined with how running a football. Kyler Williams under center. They rediscovered that, which made this offense great down the stretch. Very impressed by the Rams.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I was impressed by the Rams. However, Carolina hosts the Bengals next week. Christina, you have a little recap for us on undefeated teams. Yes, I do. Let's go from upsets to unbeaten, some unlikely perfect teams. The Texans and Vikings both entered their game 2-0, with Minnesota being the underdog at home. Houston has never beaten the Vikings. Minnesota's team had 5 sacks and 2 interceptions. Now, the Steelers defense came up big again in a 20-10 win over the previously unbeaten Chargers. Pittsburgh's 51 points scored are the fewest by a 3-0 team since 2005. Justin Fields has won 3 straight starts for the first time. The Seahawks are the lone unbeaten NFC West team after a 24-3 rout of the two-less Dolphins. The 3 points allowed at home are the lowest since 2020. Tyreek Hill was held under 50 receiving yards for the second straight week. And the Chiefs were 3-0 after their defense made 2 fourth-down stops.
The bald white guy named Mark, not named Mark.
22-17. Patrick Mahomes got win number 77. That's the most in the QB's first.
I've noticed the black refs are worse towards her than the white refs, but they all seem to suck, so it doesn't really matter.
So, guys, which undefeated is a pretender? Bill, I'll start with you.
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team I was a little skeptical of before the year. Don't feel great about that. They're off to a good start, but they're not going to be as lucky when it comes to playing
well, let's say compromised quarterbacks. So far this year, they got a rookie in Bo Nix. They played an injured Kirk Cousins in week 1 and an injured Justin Herbert on Sunday.
Well, we discussed that. I believe if they got it on the wrong player, they're allowed to change it as long as they felt there was a foul in the first place. They can't suddenly add a foul, though. But I don't know what happened. How do you give a foul to somebody who's 6 feet away? Someone could have just said the wrong number. And what? Why? One of the two other refs didn't hear it. So Prodigal, you don't think she did it on purpose?
But we know that contending status in the NFL is defined by your quarterback. And while Sam Darnold is playing well, and he is executing the offense nicely and playing within structure, it's still Sam Darnold. It's still the guy we know has the highest interception percentage of all quarterbacks with at least 50 starts since 2018. He makes too many negative plays. That's going to make him play in overtime. So
Yeah, but I'm going to let people get upset about the Texans.
I don't know exactly how much influence Adam Silver has on the WNBA. It seems like he has to have some, since they subsidize it. But the exact dynamics, I think only they know. I mean, the WNBA is a commissioner for a reason, is to run the league. Hey, Mark. Commissioner in general works for the owners, though. Owners. Okay.
Her first ever 2020 game was 21 to lead the way. New York will sweep tomorrow at home. Game 3 is in Atlanta.
They do. I just don't know how that translates to how much influence Adam Silver has. Trust me, Adam Silver wanted Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team. He just was afraid to say anything. Make him look bad.
In the third quarter on the way to a game-high 21. Vegas held Seattle to only 2 points in the fourth quarter. Caitlin Clark struggled in her playoff debut, 11 points on 4-17 shooting, while Alyssa Thomas had a triple-double to lead the Suns through a rout of the Fever. Thomas has 4 of the 6 playoff doubles all time. Our WNBA analyst and Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo joins us right now, and everyone talking about Caitlin Clark and this Fever team and how they struggled in that first game. What do they need to do to turn things around for game 2?
The number one thing they have to do, is to play with more pace. Both Caitlin Clark and Coach Christy Sykes talked to us about that before the game, so they can get into a better offense and a better flow. But in order to do that, they have to get stops on the defensive end of the floor. They struggled with that against Connecticut. Connecticut 50 points in the paint in this game, and in the first quarter alone, Connecticut had 6 offensive rebounds. So Indiana wasn't able to grab the ball and go. And then, of course, Indiana needs to shoot a better percentage from the three-point line. They shot the best percentage from there, from the Olympic break on. They really struggled yesterday, but I thought they had some very good looks, especially Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. They combined yesterday to go 4 of 23 for three.
Listening to Rebecca Lobo talk about what the Fever has to do. She says nothing about the poke in the eye.
And the Fever 7.5-point underdogs for Wednesday night game 2 at 7:30 Eastern right here on ESPN. The second game of tomorrow's game 2 doubleheader is Storm Aces. Rebecca, I mentioned that Vegas, they held Seattle just 2 points in the fourth quarter. How the heck does that happen?
Silver is very much a player's commissioner compared to David Stern, I think. So, I know Tony Kornheiser on Fighting the Interruption thinks he's not a good commissioner because he's two-player oriented. But the league hasn't fallen apart since he's been commissioner. But it hasn't really grown any either.
They only had 2 offensive rebounds, and they happened very late in the game on the same play. 6'6" Mercedes Russell.
Although their last TV contract is up from the last one.
She gets tied up for a jump ball by 5'11" Jackie Young. Just the Vegas Aces were everywhere. Seattle could not get anything going offensively.
Yeah, some stifling defense by Las Vegas. They're also favored by 9.5 points to win game 2 and advance to the semis. Rebecca with the latest. Thanks so much for hanging out.
I started watching that, It was on Ben Daniels' content. I started watching that. Andrea Carter's full of crap.
Up next, Ryan Clark sits down with Chase for more on how this season can help him secure that next big payday. Plus, Georgia and Bama separate long.
She's still pretending that the league doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. She's making it sound like there's 2 or 3 players don't like Caitlin Clark, and that's it. That's not true.
Welcome to the best season of the year. Football. Welcome to the unpredictable, the unforgettable, the unbelievable.
And Chene Agumake too.
Jackson, seriously.
They're all in the same tribe.
Goldfish and chips. Together as one. Goldfish crisps. Light and airy. Totally irresistible. Taste how Goldfish does chips. No matter what kind of teeth you gotta brush, Oral-B Electric cleans better with one simple touch. Oral-B's dentist-inspired.
Yeah, those are 4 of the worst. They're the ones that were most vocal about Clark.
Cleaner teeth. Your perfect clean starts with Oral-B.
Isn't it absolutely bonkers?
Not being on the Olympic team.
Hand someone a piece of plastic and they will willingly hand over Reese's cups. Forget flying cars.
Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp dug their own grave, though, in terms of criticizing them. Because when they talked about Clark being on the Olympic team, they kept arguing just from the marketing standpoint and not that she should have been on ability-wise and developmental-wise. And if they just didn't know enough about women's basketball, they weren't following it close enough to see that Caitlin Clark should have been on the team because she was already better than Diana Taurasi. She was better than Chelsea Gray, who was coming off an injury. They didn't argue it from an ability standpoint in addition to a marketing standpoint. And now they going back and they go, well, we didn't say she wasn't any. When you say you guys were arguing, so that's what the problem is.
For up to 8 hours of powerful relief. New targeted relief.
Did you read the invitation?
Introducing biometric cooling.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to their offense, Miguel. Their offense, the first 5 minutes in their last game of the year, was the best-looking offense I'd seen all year on their half-court offense. They were passing the ball. They were moving around. Kelsey got injured, and they just abandoned that, and I haven't seen it back since the rest of that game, and I didn't see it last game. I didn't know what they were doing. It was something new that they were practicing the day before, and it worked in the beginning of the game, and they forgot about it yesterday. But they need to run more, and they need to get stops, and they're not going to get stops unless they play better defense.
And stop further joint damage. And in PSA,
So
skin clear or almost clear.
that's my take, and I'm taking to it. I don't think they're ever going to be a good defensive team because they don't have a good enough coach that knows defense.
Including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occur. People 50 and older with the heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions.
Yeah, it's very confusing. I need to ask that question to somebody. What happened to that offense I saw for the first 5 minutes of the game against the Mystics? Why? I mean, I've never seen that before, and why have I never seen that since? I need to ask that question. I want an answer.
Did you have in your big day during the big game is the worst. Are you kidding me? Physically, I'm right here. But mentally, I'm here. Yeah, I do. Come on, speed it up.
So,
when all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game.
what channel is the game on tonight? The game's on. What is tonight? Monday. It's on ESPN, right?
You didn't fund the home with auto insurance. Well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate. Have you better protected from mayhem? Like me.
There's nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be.
Oh, okay.
They say you're better safe than sorry.
Hey, those fans are.
Tony, Mike, thank you so much. Coming up tonight, the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen off to a hot start to the season, looking for their first 3-0 start since 2020. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, they on the other.
Yes, there's 2 games tonight. The Bills are at 7:30 against the Jaguars.
He had a pretty harsh assessment of the offense. We'll be discussing that. Meanwhile, in the Queen City, Bengals also winless have a heartbreaking
It's the reason they have 2 games tonight is because they don't have a game on the last week of the year, and they want to have an extra Monday night game in or something like that. That's what I remember. Because the last week of the year, they don't have a Monday night game. So they started this. I don't know why they're doing it the 3rd week this year, but Washington at Cincinnati is the other game. That's going to be on ABC, ESPN at 8:15.
Games still left to be played, and no more bigger than the one that's the final.
And ESPN Plus, I guess. I don't know.
People think of the Jags, but they're the team that is one of the best teams in the NFL. That is the top contender in the AFC. We're ready to go attack Buffalo.
First Monday night game. It's going to be special. We play hard. We play with effort. We're physical.
Let's see what happens. I'm rooting for the Bills.
We know where we can go. We've been moving forward. We just got to go out there and win.
This is Monday night.
Yeah, the Rams came back to beat the 49ers. The Cowboys almost came back against Baltimore. You would think Baltimore could hold the lead with all that running game they have. But Dallas came back. I thought that game was out of reach.
About this, we just fired up. Swag? Yeah, so I don't know what you fired up for. Well, they got the draws in this case.
It's the double breasted.
It's going to be this It's a year-long thing. The home team, I'm wearing the home team coat. Yes, it is. All right, you guys.
Packers won 2 games without their starting quarterback. I didn't play a tough schedule, but still. And it looks like he's coming back next week. They were thinking of bringing him back this week, Jordan Love. They got lucky. I thought their season was over. They first heard 8 to 9 weeks. Jordan Love. He's played really well at the end of last year.
Yeah, you're looking at it. You don't see necessarily that it's as far off as all that. What has to happen tonight? In particular, Cleveland here, they move the ball decently at times. They're just really bad enough.
So we'll see what happens.
Really bad on 3rd down.
Said the Fever are underdogs by 7.5 points for the next game. I don't know. We'll see. Caitlin Clark's going to be pissed. And so will Kelsey Mitchell. Maybe they'll come out. The Splash Sisters will come out on fire. But she's not. She can't start Smith. She's got to stop that silliness. Just start Temi. See how she does. Who's with me? Starting Temi over Smith.
Which are huge situational football moments that usually equate to we suck. So in fact, Trevor Lawrence was correct in his assessment of his offense, and he needs to be a huge part of getting this team moving forward in the right direction. Because when they give you the bag that he got in the offseason, that's what's expected, Swag.
Hey, listen, when you bring money up, I get nervous, okay? Because
let me just see something.
Judge differently, like regardless of if we want to admit it or not. The minute that thing hit direct deposit, and I'm a big fan of direct deposit, all right, we changed the conversation about you, right? And Trevor Lawrence had to carry this on his shoulders, obviously, because the keys of the franchise has been handed over. I'm gonna get back to this though, y'all. Remember when Jacksonville was in the conversation of one of the top teams? What did they do? As much as we talk about wide receivers and quarter, they ran the football. Travis Etienne was trending towards being the league leading back in yards per game. I think now with a dual mix of him. And Trevor and Biggs, you have an opportunity still in Jacksonville because they have talent. Now, this is not a team devoid of talent. No, they're a team devoid of consistency. We've seen them go through.
I wonder what I would do if I was Caitlin Clark. She got so much pull that she doesn't even use. I'd say, okay, you suspend DJ and Carrington, or this is my last game in the WNBA. I'm going to Europe. That's what are they going to do?
This evening, they're coming in off it's this much away from being 1-1. Maybe the world looks a little.
What are they going to do? She's serious. She says it like, look at. I'm not going to ruin my career. If I can't see, I can't play basketball. You guys haven't protected me all year. Why should I stay in this league? She had her eardrum. She had a fractured eardrum. She got hit in the head several times. She got knocked to the ground on non-basketball plays 3 times. She could have easily got injured several times this year. She's just tough and lucky. I mean, I'm sorry, that looked intentional to me. How can you even want to be in the same court as that person? I don't know. I just
expects to continue that against a young Jaden Daniels. Shouldn't have rushed 3 on that last play.
Don't get me started. Scott, we pass it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the 3-man rush.
I don't know. I'm the one that said that she shouldn't have not played Wallace at all. I said, why is she starting from game 2 or 3? I could see she wasn't that good. But she went from playing too many minutes and starting 25 to playing 0. When in fact she should have been playing 6 to 10 minutes all along. They're 10 minutes or whatever. 10 minutes a game all along. And she went from 25 to 0, which made no sense whatsoever. She's not that bad. She's just not starter material. She looked awful that one game she came back, but she looked good last game. She played for the Australian team and didn't play very well, though. I guess they do allow. I don't think that I looked up the rules. I couldn't find any rules on fingernails, any limitations in WNBA when I did a Google search. Maybe someone else can do a better one than I did. I agree she shouldn't have been shooting 13 threes if her eye was hurt. She said it didn't affect her. But then later someone said she said something about her. It might have affected her depth perception. But she can't make it. If it was bothering her, she wasn't going to tell anybody. Because, all the haters would just criticize her for being a wimp or for making excuses. She's in such an unwinnable situation with that league. It's so disgusting.
You cook around so much, and if you're going to live in shotgun, it's so hard to be stagnant.
I wouldn't want to play in that league if I was her.
Because I hear quarterbacks always talk about the motion.
Yeah.
And how it helps them. How does it help you guys up front?
I don't know what to say, but I'd want to enjoy the league I'm playing in.
Or creates great angles in the right. So whether you're doing it for your own purposes or to try and prevent backers from screaming downhill because you're being stagnant and they're confident.
Yeah, they should get rid of the fake fingernails. I agree.
Rather than having a bump out with a receiver run across.
The fake fingernails.
There's ways that get affected. Sometimes an offense is the best thing in the world. Other times, they ran a man coverage. We expect them to bump, and now we're not going to the right guys.
Gotcha.
But in general, I think mixing that in helps a lot.
Hearing you all talk about these 2 0-2 teams, there's 0-2 teams that we understand right now aren't very good. But it sounds to me like you're describing teams that you believe actually are pretty good, but you do not want to fall to 0-3. Statistically, in the last quarter century, just one team who started 0-3 has made the playoffs. So you do not want to fall into that 0-3 hole. As for Joe Burrow, you mentioned getting some of his guys back. You're going to get Higgins back tonight, and adding him to the mix.
Good luck.
Good luck. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Well, I mean, he certainly changes the whole dynamic of that offense.
Apparently, he's saying Avatar.
Yeah, Joe's 1-2, 1-9. He's just digging these holes that you're having to correct the rest of the season. The numbers have just been very, very different from who he becomes after that. And so now we have reached the after that portion of the schedule, and you're adding Higgins to the mix opposite Chase, who you're rushing around, and so that gives Cincinnati plenty more options as they welcome Washington to town. As we continue here on Monday Night Countdown, I had a chance to say hello to the quarterback in Washington. RC, you had a chance to visit with a guy you know pretty well playing wide out for Cincinnati. We'll hear those conversations that we lead up to tonight's doubleheader, and we'll talk about the 3-0 teams. What's it going to be part of the conversation as we
Popular opinion, firesides.
Holiday season. That's all on the way. Settle in and enjoy.
I better have to sit down when we go to Dallas.
Monday Night
Yeah,
is presented by
it's so weird.
ESPN Bet, the official sports.
I would feel like I know she's got her teammates like her now and everything, And she's got good family support and friends because she's such a nice person and everything. But I feel lonely. I would feel like lonely in that league, knowing that not only the players, but the whole organization involving the WNBA seems to be against her. That must be an awful feeling. I just can't tell you how tough mentally and physically she must be. Just think about that. She knows exactly what's going on and knows she can't say anything because it'll just make it worse. So she has to pretend that these people are a bunch of psychos. And so she has to take the high road and swallow all of that. I don't know could you do that? Could you swallow all of this if you were her, knowing she was underrated, knowing they were trying to physically hurt her, knowing she was getting double teamed and triple teamed and no one else in the league was because they wanted to hold her down, knowing the refs are against her, knowing that her coach sucks, knowing that at first her teammates resented her. I just seriously, I give her so much credit. And then they ask her all these questions. She's got to denounce her fans all the time, and she has nothing to do with them. She's not even on social media, but I know she hears a lot of this crap. And then she, she whines too much. But if you were playing in a league where the calls were against you 3/4 of the time that you play, and the other quarter you basically break even, wouldn't you be whining? Like, how could you just take that all the time? I don't know. I just not in the Olympic team for silly reasons, and then people supporting that. Yeah, I don't know. I would have said things that she didn't say. Let's put it that way. I would not have held back as much as her. Now, I know why she's doing it, because she's only going to make it worse, and she's got sponsors that she's making a lot of money on. We all know she's making a ton of money with Wilson Ball and the shoe. But that doesn't mean I could have held back 100% like she has. Always complimentary to every player in the league. Even when they take cheap shots against you.
I have one secret to help you build wealth. You need to be careful who you listen to. When it comes to
And she's 22 years old and she's still pulling all this off. That's phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
It's an airborne commercial.
And yet she still gets all this hate and underrated and stuff. I think it's coming out next year, Nike shoe.
We researched and reviewed
The actual one they're designing, I think it's coming out next year. That's what I heard. But you'd have to research it and look it
We're
up.
not going to win a game all season. Yeah, but at least we're not going to lose a tailgate.
I know. I just whined for her for the last 5 minutes, right? I don't know how it works. Now, I'm sure the contract is very complicated. So who knows? If she goes over and plays in Europe, I'm sure they wouldn't be happy. But if Europe had a nice TV deal with people over the United States, it might not bother them that much. As long as people are still seeing her play, they won't care.
Okay, we got a bunch of 3-0s in the NFL to take inventory of. Let's start with the reigning chances. This PI, fellas. Hell yeah! Is that PI? Yep. Yeah. That's early, I mean, from that angle, but you look at the other one. Look at the PI and Cousins. After Spagnola's bringing pressure when Atlanta lost its center. Spagnola, that defense just brought pressure after pressure. Nick Bolton makes a tremendous play here on a 4th and 1 to get B.J. Robinson down on the ground. Kansas City, 3-0, all 3 wins by 7 or less, and that has the quarterback saying, as good as we can be.
Yeah, I'm sure contracts are very complicated. So what would sell her basketball and her shoes is her being visual to the public. Now, not playing at arenas in the United States would be a problem with being visual to the public. But the TV deal also wouldn't be like major networks and stuff like that. So That's what I know. Someone else told me that if she could get someone to help start another league and just say, F these women and just start another league and just say, listen, if you don't have a good personality, we're not allowing you in the league. If you can't do a press conference without being rude to the people asking you questions, and if you want to play prison ball, stay in the WNBA. Look, they're not that good in the WNBA. People say they are, right? They're not. They can't even make layups, for heaven's sakes. How much worse can the other players below them? They can't make layups either. Big deal. At least Caitlin Clark's in the league. And
so I think that this is more of who the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be. But we do know when 15 is on.
Well, if you listen to my video, I didn't say that they lost because of that, because they didn't play well. But it could have affected the game. I mean, it happened right at the beginning of the game. It completely threw Caitlin Clark off. I think it shook the team up a little bit. The refs seemed to be against him from the very beginning. That shook the team up again. You know, they still hung tight for a good long while. But Connecticut Sun's physical, and they got away with crap, especially Alyssa Thomas, so I don't even like. Well, anytime they lose, I blame it on sides. So.
To stop Travis Kelce. Outside of Travis Kelce, bumping his head on the goalpost and going crazy, right? But I think the experience matters, Scott. That's why you hear Patrick Mahomes say what he says. He knows that right now we're not good enough to repeat as the three-time Super Bowl champion.
Okay, yeah, fair enough, Prodigal. You listen to all my videos. I try to be really, really objective to the point where I could actually be more opinionated than I am. Someone called me milquetoast or whatever the other day. Milquetoast, whatever that word is. I don't know. I don't think I am at all. I'm pretty opinionated, but I try to be objective because that's what I learned from my father. And I think that's the only way to do sports.
It's not all about Patrick Mahomes. It's about 95. It's about Steve Spagnuolo. It's about Andy Reid's creativity in a play for one game. Remember that. When they get to the playoffs, or they play these games, it's one game.
I don't know. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that eye gouge wasn't on purpose. It's just the way she changed her hand and the direction of her hand. It didn't go. It was two things. First of all, it wasn't even, she wasn't trying to block a shot. It was just a pass. Normally the pass, you just kind of like put your hand up like this. Usually, you don't usually do that swiping motion towards the face like you do where you're trying to block the middle of the shot. So, anyways, then it seems to change the direction. It was going kind of like the middle of her face, and then it kind of went to one eye or the other, and then her hand curled up at the same time. I don't know. The more I look at it, she did take too many threes. So did probably Mitchell. But we all know their number one problem is their defense, and that's because the coach doesn't know how to coach defense. So the players don't position themselves properly. They don't know how to work through picks and screens. They go under them on three-point shooters instead of over them. I know that. Not even play basketball. But they're also too far off their persons when the persons are lined up on the three-point line. That's on them. I mean, Mitchell and Clark do it all the time. They're the starting guards. Hall doesn't do that. That's coaching. Coaching saying, hey, get on your person. It's not the way you play defense. Gardner Minshew started yesterday, and now the question is whether Pierce will stick. Let's coaching first. To Aiden O'Connell, who does have some support within that organization and finished as last year's starter. I think Clark did tone down the risky passes yesterday. She only had 2 turnovers, and 8 assists, and she should have had more than 8 assists again.
Minshews 30-38 last week in Baltimore. They have that comeback, and now they get beaten. I don't know if it was Minshew's fault, but I mean, what do you make of the idea that they be looking to pull the plug that quick on Minshew? I think
we'll see. Caitlin Clark, I've watched her play for 4 years. She rarely has 2 bad games in a row. She usually comes out gangbusters the next game. She gets all pissed at herself. She gets all psyched. She practices harder. I don't know. I'm just saying. I can't guarantee it.
What's going on inside that building, or what's the feeling around Aiden O'Connell? You think about this team and the way that they finished. It was because of Aiden O'Connell's solid play with the run game. And
so we'll find out.
That continued to pressure, continued to make plays. That Antonio Pierce got this job.
We'll find out tomorrow how Clark rebounds from that. But
deposits in my emotional bank accounts than others. And those people have a certain.
I'll look at that play. I'm going to look at that play one more time.
Gardner Minshew doesn't have that yet, and that could also be playing into this decision.
Gardner went on the field when Andy Dalton let him up, and a team that looked like they were done. I'm not advocating what you say makes sense to me. I just think that Antonio said business decisions were being made yesterday. It looked like
that is such an unnatural hand movement motion.
He was out there getting after it.
Yeah, they got cooked.
I'm sorry.
Is what you're saying, Scott. That defense got cooked.
The more I look at the play,
now here's the other thing, right?
I just watched the poke in the eye again and read it. Just you're gonna have a hard time convincing me that's not real. That wasn't on purpose.
What you were supposed to be doing at the speed and the level of intensity that you were supposed to be doing. Sometimes to the blind eye, like as watching the game, you can't see it. But when we get in the film room, we know whether we gave up this because we just played a bad down, or we gave this up because we were frustrated and the narrative continued to carry over while Andy Dalton is lining you up for 300.
I agree. She's not playing with the same persona she had in college, but it may change. I think it takes a while to transfer that to the pros, especially when the league's all against you and you're not trying to piss anybody off.
You got Max Crosby, who is arguably one of the top defensive ends in the league. You got guys on this team with a lot of talent. You are always in limbo when you don't know what you're going to get from your quarterback.
What does that change? She should be suspended for the rest of the series. She tried to poke someone's eye out. Changes a lot. She's the best defensive perimeter player. And if they'd done that, it should have been a flagrant 2, and she should have been thrown out of the game right there. If you go and look at that angle, if I was a ref and I looked at that angle, I'd say, you're out of here. Flagrant 2. That's what I would have done. Sorry, that's what it looks like. It looks like she did it on purpose. You can't have people poking people in the eyes. What's his name? As I pointed out in the video, Draymond Green. He missed game 4 of, I think it was 3-1, right? I guess it was game 5 of the NBA Finals, because it was like a third or fourth time he kicked her, punched someone in the nuts. He's suspended.
And if you're having to make this decision, or you're having those discussions within your building right now, what happens the next time he does play bad?
I agree. Sides should have made more of an uproar, but those refs were. If they're not going to call a foul, they're certainly not going to make it a flagrant 2 because the coach says something about my players on the ground. They're just not going to. They haven't done a flagrant 2 all year when Clark was involved. The only time they did a flagrant 2 is when I think Alyssa Thomas pulled down Angel Reese. But they didn't even call a foul. It's just like she should have got more upset about. That's true. I don't know what she did. They didn't show the coach. They showed Caitlin Clark landing on the ground.
This is Arby's $7 double meats meal. Big boy bags only.
I don't know. I'm just saying I've never seen that before.
Who you listen to when it comes to your finances. I'm not a CFO, and this not a handout. I'm not even human.
When it comes to financial decisions, start with the nerds.
She's never stood up for Caitlin Clark, really, for the most part, for the whole year. Caitlin Clark has been fouled so much, and Sides has not stuck up for her barely all year. I hope they get 3 different refs this game.
With proven nutrition for healthy energy you can see and hear. For low prices, for life with pets, there's Chewy with Purina One.
She follows the ball.
I saved a few bucks by doing it myself. What? Bring it up.
It's never wise to compromise.
I don't know.
We are
I feel like I'm in a movie and I'm part of Caitlin Clark's nightmare. Like, almost like this isn't real. If I told you, I said this to Rob in a video, maybe a couple times. I brought you this script with Caitlin Clark about her rookie year, right? And I brought you this script, and I brought it into your office, and you're a big-time movie producer, and I wanted a lot of money put behind me and made this movie. You'd go, this is too unrealistic. Nobody's going to believe it. They're going to think it's corny or something, or far-fetched, or anti-woke or something, or whatever. You'd have to change the facts so this, because it wouldn't be believable enough. Seriously, it's mind-boggling to me. It might be the most bizarre continual sports situation in my life, I would say, Vadim. I think it is the most bizarre. Not one event, but several events put together. It really is. I can't. I'm 65 years old. I just turned 65 on Wednesday. I don't remember ever seeing such a bizarre, sustained storyline in sports in my entire life. Wheeler played 9 minutes, seemed like 20 minutes. I didn't pay much attention to Wheeler that game. She didn't seem to bother me that much. I don't know. She was hustling on defense. I'll say that. She gets up closer to her person on the three-point line than Clark or Mitchell does, to be honest with you. If you watch, she doesn't play like in between the post and the three-point line like Mitchell and Clark do. So I will give her that. She seemed to be closer to when she was on, what's her name? Mabry. But seriously, Vadim, I brought this movie script into your office, and you're the head of a studio. You tell me to change the facts because it's not believable enough. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've never seen the players have so much control over a league before either.
The Hines Allen families have an impressive legacy built through basketball. Football. Michelle Heisman-Clark. Hope you're feeling well, Michelle. Has this story.
Yeah, Wheeler never learned how to be a proper point guard. I don't care how many years she's been in the league and how much they're paying her. You can just see the difference in the basketball IQ between her and Caitlin Clark within seconds after she gets the ball. Yeah, the commissioner's a wimp. But why is she bullied by the players when she's paid by the owners is beyond me. She can't pass, though. No, I don't think she's a very good passer either. For heaven's sakes, the second best passer in the team is Boston. And she's a second-year player who's not even a guard.
What makes you a better football player over basketball?
And she's not super athletic either, Boston. She's just smart.
I'm not too skillful for that. But in football, I'm a 6'5", 270 defensive end. There's not a lot of players that look like me, are as fast as me, and are as strong as me at this size.
So, anyway.
Like, you picked the right sport. I'll say that.
I need a little water. Hang on a second.
Could you beat her now?
No. I went up there to see her.
It was just not athletic, and he could not even dunk. And he did it a couple times. He was like really trying to. It was embarrassing.
We gotta go make a play. So if we don't hold that right now, we gotta go make a play. My family, Aisha, Tori, Uncle Gregory left a legacy, and I want to leave my own. And, my story is still being written, and hopefully I can continue to be an inspiration to others, so they were to me.
It was embarrassing. Josh Hines Allen, one of the most productive passers in the Football League since the start of last season.
Anyway.
Tied for third in the NFL entering this
I'm back.
Sacks and bunches. 3 games with 3 are the most.
So I'm probably going to cut it off at 7:30 to watch the Bills game. I'm going to watch the Bills game. And see what happens.
Enjoy my commercials.
All right. Well, when she gets there, she's not sure how to run an offense. She doesn't know how to direct the other players if they're not doing what they should be doing, get them to move. She doesn't know how to run a pick and roll. Is it raining in Buffalo? My mother's in Rochester, New York, and she's a Buffalo Bills fan. My cousin's there too. They're all Bills fans.
Josh Allen. He's been throwing less, handing out more, but he's been smiling.
Josh Allen.
Has been feeling good.
I agree, Vadim. I'm telling you, she's not a smart basketball player. She has some talent. She's just not smart, and no one ever taught her how to be a point guard properly. All right, I agree. I don't know how she made it in this league. She really doesn't have point guard skills. She's athletic. She's quick and everything. She can shoot a little. She can dribble a little. But
the difference in mindset
I don't know.
is huge when you look ahead to playoff possibilities. Jaguars know that 0-3.
Yeah. Smith has talent. She just is a mental head. She's a head case. She wants to be a star without putting the work into it. That's what she wants. Think about it. You watch her play defense. She doesn't put the effort in on defense. She's never really developed any post moves. She has a spin move when she drives the basket and a little bit of a jumper from 8-10 feet away. A bank shot. That's about it. She never really developed her post moves. Never made her outside shot better from like 15 feet or longer. Jacksonville lost 7 straight. Did they lose 5 straight at the end of last year? I don't know. Prodigal. I don't know anything about the new FIBA president except they heard she used to be president. People say that, but it might just be wishful thinking. It might just be to make a podcast to get views. I just saw that today. I don't know. Rob and I aren't going to make videos tomorrow, so we'll have to cover that on Wednesday, I guess.
We suck on offense right now. That raised a lot of eyebrows, but he backed it up. He believes they just got to get a lot better.
So they lost the last 5 games last year? I forgot about that. I know Trevor Lawrence has talent. He might be due for a good game. Yeah, I know her name. I just don't know that much about her. I mean, obviously Dunn, anybody that waives Celeste Taylor and keeps Saxton is not a good GM. Or she's not a good coach. That was like the dumbest move ever. Rob. That was Rob Silver. Oh, yeah, I did block. I started blocking. He started getting too much, and someone complained. So I blocked Woke Black Man yesterday, and then he came back as someone else. I blocked that, and he came out as someone else. I blocked that. I think he has 5 accounts. I think he still didn't use up Gino or Monica McNutt, but I'll block them too.
All right, third time to try. Here we go. It's okay. Get on the next one.
So it's raining in Buffalo?
Now I got it.
Cam, get loose.
Here we go. Daddy's got this.
Hey, you got us this far. Cam's gonna finish.
Let me just see something.
only favorite backups in real life, but at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
Let me look at the Buffalo Rochester weather. Yeah, well, as soon as I can't block him until he comes on with them. He was getting, I thought he was occasionally funny, and nobody was really complaining that much. And every time he said they were going to do poorly, they started playing well, so it was a good luck charm. Rochester is rain and shower, just an hour from Buffalo, but okay, so it's probably raining in Buffalo, I guess.
This one, so we can actually pick our games. And this one. So we watch 4 games at once? Watch every game.
Every Sunday.
Yeah. You brought an NFL Sunday ticket and YouTube TV.
You never want to lose your edge. And the Lexus RX completely understands that.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like our fresh, never frozen dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And our dough can save you dough. Get 2
Adrian Ross, yeah.
favorites for just $6.99 each. Order now on the app from Papa John's.
He was starting to spam because people were ignoring him. Why was he spamming? I'm not even convinced he doesn't like Caitlin Clark. I think he was just trying to be funny. But so, yeah, if you want someone blocked because they're like that, let me know. I could have done it earlier. I just didn't think he was too bad. I blocked these other guys. This one guy would come on, and he was obviously an Angel Reese fan, and he kept saying that we were stupid and didn't know basketball. Another person saying we were stupid and know basketball. And that's all I said every comment. So I don't mind criticizing my take on something, but just saying you're stupid and don't know basketball without giving me logical reasons why, that's not constructive. So I got rid of them. I blocked them. But I try not to do that. I try to let everyone speak. And I like to hear different viewpoints. I just don't want to. I want people to say non-constructive things. Rob does like CC. All right. So you think the Bills are going to win tonight? It makes me worried that the team that's lost 7 straight and the quarterback's lost 7 straight just is due for a big game. It's not like he doesn't have talent.
On the Jaguars side tonight with their record so far this season, how do you guys match that intensity?
They're a great team. We're a great team. We got to go out there and play. Surrender to the outcome and just go out there and play our game.
We're about to hear your name announced. What does this feel like?
It feels great.
Every time I think a team is going to lose.
Go get them.
We'll see what happens. Von Miller's healthier this year. Let's see. He's old, but he's healthier. He's got to get at Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen TD tonight? Of course. Josh Allen a run for a TD and throw for 2 TDs. How's that? How's that sound? How's that for a prediction? I just said run for 1 and pass for 2. 3 TDs for out of Josh tonight. There you go.
Us this Saturday and Sunday.
Although it's wet out
Josie
today,
Bikes is
so we'll see what
donating
happens.
20% of sales to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
Yeah, that's my prediction. And sticking to it. You never know when a wet day. So. He's got big hands. He's a big guy. He could probably throw in the rain better. But so Trevor Lawrence is actually. Trevor Lawrence is 6'5", right? What's Josh Allen? Is he 6'5" also? Are they both 6'5"? They're both big guys, right?
With your secured data on-prem in real time.
Let me see.
And assisting bank tellers on the edge. Watson X helps you deploy AI wherever you need it.
Buffalo.
So you can take your business wherever it needs to go. IBM. Let's create.
Josh Allen. Yeah, he's 6'5". They're both 6'5". They're two of the tallest quarterbacks in the league. Passing over 250. I don't know. It's raining out. I wouldn't go that far. Let me see how bad the rain is. It's tough to throw in the rain.
What if the promise of better work wasn't just something we dreamed about, but something we found? This might be the one, or better yet, no way. Something
Yeah.
I found. I got the interview.
We'll see. They got a running game, so.
As a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on investing right now in you, the American people. And we can chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
With car gurus, you can start your financing from home.
We'll see.
If only you could do things your way.
Anyways.
Maybe someday,
Thanks for joining the live show. I'm going to end it at 7:30 so I can watch the game. What's an assist in NFL? If anybody wants to donate to the channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. I'm going to end it at 7:30 so I can enjoy the game. Just 2 games out tonight. So hopefully Buffalo will win. My mother will be happy. My poor mother. It's the only team she cares about. I want her to win before she dies. The Super Bowl. We'll see. What's an assist in NFL? I don't know. They don't have one. So Patrick retires then? Well, she's 93. I'm hoping she does, but I know. They can't seem to get by the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I don't think so. CeCe throws at 66 yards for a TD. I bet you she can really... I saw her throw a T-shirt into the fans, and it pretty far. I don't want her to throw her arm out, but I have a feeling she could throw a football farther than I can. Of course, she's the same weight as me. She's like 6 inches taller. So, all right. Anyways, we'll see you guys Wednesday night. All right. So Wednesday night, let me see if you guys answered the question. Did you do it intentionally? 18 votes, 89% said yes. All right. All right. We'll see you Wednesday night. Rob will be there. Bye.